Welcome everyone to Search Engine Optimization Part 1. Today I'm going to present the two key search engine optimization principles, and I'm going to talk about the basics of search engine optimization. SEO, or search engine optimization, has almost become a buzzword of the decade, with everyone talking about it, and with many companies who claim to have a magic formula to success. Well, first of all, let's define what SEO is. Search engine optimization is actually a process of optimizing a website's content. In other words, tweaking or adjusting a website's content and code in order to get a preferred rank on the search results pages. So today I will explain why some results appear on top of search engine results, and I'm going to use Google just as an example, but whatever I say pretty much applies to all search engines. So why some websites appear at the top while others are buried among the top 100 or maybe even lower in search engine rank. So let's go to the web and show you a couple of examples. Well, I just went to google.com and entered the words like song lyrics, or in this case lyrics, and I'm trying to understand. Once I click on search, I'm trying to understand what's going on and what websites appear at the top and what websites appear at the bottom. And really that's what you need to do, to almost like be a detective and try to understand what's going on. So as you see, there are a couple of ads actually. No, these are not the ads. I'm seeing AZ lyrics at the beginning. Interestingly, they have the words lyrics in the domain name and the title tag or the name of a website. Then we have another website, lyrics.com, which is very interesting. So basically they secured such a powerful one-word domain name. And then on the spot number 3 we have our company that we mentioned before, MetroLyrics, and they are listed among the top 10, quite high on search engines. Why is that? Well, first of all, I can give you a couple of hints. You see that they are using lyrics in the name of a website. This is actually called title tag, but also they are using lyrics as a name, as their domain name. They are also mentioning lyrics a couple of times in their description. We're going to talk about it later. But these are all signals for Google that this website is all about lyrics. So we have to be direct and straightforward when speaking to Google from the very beginning. But before we go on, let me actually show you a couple of more examples. Another example is a company called Organic Wine Company. When I search on Google and type organic wine and click on search, right? As you can see, actually right now they're number 1 because there is no more, there was an ad here. They're number 1 listed website on Google. And what happens is that you will notice that they have organic as a part of their title tag or heading of their website, and they also have wine, and they have organic wine, and they mention organic wine at least a couple of times on their homepage, which the concept is called keyword density. And they have been established. That's actually my client. They're one of the leading companies, my former client, one of the leading companies that makes organic wines in North America. They're listed quite high, and I'm going to explain as we go the reasons for that. And that's kind of interesting that they're also listed before Wikipedia, which is not that often. Another company, actually it's a friend of mine, he asked me to help him a bit. So we did very little, but even with that very little, he wanted to be positioned on top on search engines when someone in Vancouver is using the words like pest services, or maybe even entering the word Vancouver in the search term. And they are appearing actually on number, actually these are paid ads, and they are number 2 or 3, actually 2 for this particular phrase. So if you go to the website, for example, you will notice a nice website, visually effective, but you will also notice that the title tag, the heading of this website has the words Pest Services Vancouver. You will notice that they have couple of occurrences of even bolded words of word pest or pest control or pest services. Another example is a company called Slang Doors. They manufacture huge doors. We've actually done a search engine optimization for the company quite a while ago. I think it was in 2008, and we haven't done much after that, but they are still listed number 3. They used to be number 1, but now we have this huge social media company that are taking 2 first places, and my client's website is number 3. And actually what I'm going to do in my next presentation, I'm going to walk through a process and show you exactly what we did for slangdoor.com and why they show on top of search results. So let's now move on to our presentation and explain why all of these things happen. Why, when you search on Google, some websites appear at the top and some at the very bottom. Well, I'm gonna quote a friend of mine who says that there is no magic secret to SEO. You just need to create a huge and extremely useful website with lots of valuable content, lots of activities and links and likes and followers, and in a way the SEO will take care of itself. That's what my friend keeps saying for years. In other words, you need to be focused on the quality, not on SEO. But yes, still you need to follow some basic web marketing and design rules. So if you have listened carefully, you've noticed that actually all SEO is about quality and quantity. In other words, your website has to have a great content and it has to create great user experience. But at the same time, it has to have lots of pages, great number of targeted pages, links, likes, and followers. So those 2 things are essential. They're the 2 most important factors for successful search engine optimization. So once again, there's no magic secret to SEO. It's all about the quality of your website and the quantity of your website. So let me show you one more time the MetroLyrics website, a fabulous website, great, huge content, great content, lots of interactivity, lots of things happening on that website, and no wonder they now have actually as many as 50 million unique visits. That's the number that was recently reported, 50 million unique visits every single month. So I'm now on MetroLyrics.com, and as you can see, very kind of simple navigation. Every information can be found in maybe 2 or 3 clicks, and as you remember rule, 3 clicks and 8 seconds. So all artists are listed here, right? You can access them, you can search for them, you can see the most popular ones, or you can browse and find your own artist based on the alphabetical letters, or you can even maybe watch some videos, review the top 100 lyrics, or simply search for lyrics here. Like for example, right now I'm gonna say yesterday. Okay, and search for yesterday, the song from Beatles. Let's see what I'm going to get. So yes, let me see here. We have Beatles yesterday and their song here, but how nice. You can even get the ringtone from the same song. You can play video, you can, in some cases, you can share stuff, correct, upload. There's lots of interactivity on that website, and yes, that's part of the reason why they are successful. But just for a moment, have a look at this URL, MetroLyrics.com/yesterday lyrics from Beatles. So yesterday lyrics from Beatles. This will play a really important role when we later on talk about search engine optimization. You will see that big part of the search engine optimization is to very clearly communicate to Google what this particular page is about, and they do it very in a very simple way. They just say MetroLyrics.com/yesterday lyrics. So let's see for now what happens if I type in yesterday lyrics on Google. So no surprise, the company actually is listed on top among 142 million results. And again, that's the same page that we just visited. Highly targeted page, specifically designed just to describe the lyrics of a song called Yesterday from Beatles. However, the key point here is that there are millions of different songs. Like, for example, Yesterday from Beatles would be just one, but you can surf and try to find any song from any author, like Elvis Presley or Beatles or whoever, and you can find all of those songs, pretty much all of those songs, on that MetroLyrics website. So basically they have thousands and maybe if not even millions of pages listed on their website, and that's actually their big secret. So if you remember the long tail principle, here's the long tail. So what if you remember that, here's how Amazon actually, this is how Amazon makes money. So Amazon doesn't really make money based on selling only few items, right? Few items in huge quantities, best-selling items sold in huge quantities. Well, actually that's what they do, but still, what Amazon does, as you remember, they sell lots of items, lots of books, and some of those books even in only small quantities, like maybe 5 or 10 of those per month. So they sell lots of books, right? And that's the long tail principle, or selling less, only few items, but only few of each item. So selling less of more and more items. So the same principle can be applied to, for example, MetroLyrics website, which has more items, in other words, millions of pages, right? Even though some of those pages are accessed only a few times by various people. So they have lots of pages on their website, and those pages are not as popular like just the home page, but many people will still search for them in total over the globe. So that's the idea of MetroLyrics website. They as well use the long tail principle. So what can we learn from MetroLyrics.com website? Well, first of all, as I've just mentioned, they use the long tail principle. They created millions of pages, or maybe I should say thousands of pages, and they organize their website well. Everything is so accessible, easy to find in only a few clicks. They also made their website in Web 2.0 spirit. In other words, they enable people to participate, share content, vote, like, and recommend to their friends. So in a way, you've seen great content and you've seen huge quantity of information. So once again, that's the SEO formula. Lots of content, which is quantity, and useful information, which is quality. So as you saw on MetroLyrics website, they really didn't want to outsmart or trick the search engines. They just tried to be search engine friendly. And seriously, search engines want you to work with them. They want you to help them. You will be surprised to hear that actually Google has published information on how to be Google friendly. That information can be found on their website, and it's called Guidance, SEO Guidance for Webmasters, and they actually help you help them. In other words, help you design a website that's SEO, search engine friendly. So the point is really to work with Google, not against Google. For a moment, I'm going to actually compare Google with the mailman. Treat me, that's what Google says, as if I'm your mailman. Help me. So think of it for a moment. How do you help your mailman? First of all, why do you want to help mailman? Well, because you want your mailman to deliver important mail to you in a shortest possible time. So really, what do you do to help your mailman? Well, first of all, you will put a number on your house, big number on your house, so that he or she can find you. And maybe if you live in an apartment building, you will, of course, put a number of your unit, like unit number 17 or whatever. And then the mailman, when he comes to your building, he doesn't have to read through maybe 100 last names before he finds your last name. So he can find you just based on the number 17, and it's that simple. So it makes his time very productive, and you get your mail in time. So in a similar way, you want to treat Google with the proper information. Right when Google robot comes to your website, give Google Robot appropriate greeting if you want and the appropriate information. You can do that by using your keywords like song lyrics in your domain name, in your website name, and in the text of your website, right from the beginning, in the description of your website, in all your HTML tags that we're going to talk about later. But let me for a moment explain what Search Engine Robot is. Web Spider or Search Engine Robots. They are actually a special software programs that are instructed to go to various websites and capture, record some basic information about those websites. So for example, at this point of time, search engine robots are crawling the web, going from one website to another, and they're picking up the content, they're capturing the description of your website, and they are putting all that content in their huge database. So that, for example, when you search the web and say yesterday lyrics, you might think that right now Google will just go to 157 million different websites and try to see which one has the most appropriate content for the search term yesterday lyrics. Well, that's not actually the case. What happens, this information has already been recorded in Google's database, and that has been done by a program called Google Robot or Google Bot. So at this point, Google will only access its database, its own database, and try to see which actually website is best linked with this particular phrase. So the process of indexing a website is sort of independent from the process of ranking websites and presenting websites on your screen. I'm explaining this principle of work of search engine robots so that you understand that you have to be direct and clear and specific when search engine robots come to your website. You need to serve search engine robots with appropriate information if you want to be ranked high on search engines. So now let's kind of wrap it up. You have probably noticed that we keep speaking about the top two key SEO principles. And number one, it's actually to be search engine friendly. In other words, to use specific, clear, and targeted language when speaking to Google. And number two is to be user friendly. In other words, to ensure great user experience, to ensure that your users can find the information in only 3 clicks and 8 seconds, that they like your website, they want to stay longer on your website, they want to recommend your website to friends, they want to like your and bookmark your website and everything. And now you might be asking, so how will Google know if your website is actually user-friendly, if it is liked by users? Well, there are many ways to learn that for Google. There are many ways to discover that. First of all, number of likes. Secondly, do people leave your website right away, or do they stay on your websites? Thirdly, do people come again to your website often? So really, Google has a way to pick up those signals and to see whether or not you are user-friendly, and interestingly, Google will reward you for treating your customers right. So as you can see, there is no magic to SEO. It's just you treating the customers right. So as simple as it sounds, those are the two key SEO principles. Number one, be search engine friendly, and number two, be user friendly. And if you want to, I can even put being user friendly as the principle number one, which actually this is the fundamental of search engine optimization. And finally, let's kind of wrap it up. Before we move on and before I walk you through all the 10 steps of search engine optimization process, let's kind of wrap it up and summarize the key lessons that we learned today. Number one, there's no magic secret to SEO, but it's all about the quality and the quantity of your website. 3, be specific and be targeted when speaking to search engines. Number 4, provide great experience, great user experience, lots of useful content, lots of activity for your visitors. And finally, yes, follow some basic web design and marketing rules, which we are going to talk about in our next presentation. Thank you for listening.